NAFES is multi-event. They all have bearing on what an exceptionally endowed country we lived in. There was actually this day, in the course of the festival, when on close examination, I wondered why Nigerians do not make the best of what they have. Plateau still lives its life surrounded by the beauties of nature. One of it is a perennial waterfall at the very first gate of the state, coming from Abuja. It is a Rem local government area. They call it Aso Falls. The environment where this waterfall flows is perhaps the highest elevation in Plateau State. It is the actual plateau. It is called Hawenkibo. This is some 10 kilometers of continuous ascent across chains of mountain ranges with deep chasms. The water actually emanates from rock formations around Kuru, near Jos, and flows to empty in a channel of River Kaduna. This waterfall is not just splendid. Yet, many Nigerians who travel abroad for tourism do not know even it is there. Plateau State always prides itself at the home of tourism. But believe me, nowhere is this expression more definitive than in this place, the Asab Waterfall. Asab Waterfall is located at the depths of Hawenkibo. Hawenkibo is definitely one of the most iconic parts of Plateau State. It is a Rem local government, and it's a conglomeration of hills that do not seem to stop. That is precisely where the Asab Waterfall is located. In this place, on a daily basis, you find as many as 100 people coming just to watch. And then, of course, it is a work of art. It is like a poetry. It is like a nature shedding tears. It is a place of beauty. Coming to the side of the fall entails some footwork, but it gives you pleasure to do so, especially with the hope of a very big discovery in your mind. It is not even too much of a hard work to reach the place. My colleague Brian Maker here has been into tourism for decades. And in fact, like me, he's a journalist. But then, unlike me, he's a specialist when it comes to the issues of tourism. He is a tourism buff, always into it, speaking it and breathing it. Mr. Maker, Asab Hill.
Wonderful. A good place to be. Unbelievably Nigerian, and I think nobody has really discovered it. We only talk about it, but we have not discovered it.
Beautiful as this waterfall is, and several real-time tourism attractions that nature generously endowed this nation with, why do students actually meet them, especially those with the passion for tourism?
This place should not be empty. You can see it's empty. It should be filled up with young and the old. There should be recreation ground. This is Saturday, for instance. What are you doing at home? You should come to Asofo, feel nature, talk nature, live, and you live longer. You live longer. That's why you're looking young every time, Hamisu. Okay, because you move around. Yes.
Just tell us, that Nigeria has potentials which are yet to be exploited as far as tourism is concerned.
Yes.
What do you think we need to do differently?
I think we needed to rediscover it domestically. I believe, yes, foreigners must come. But 200 million people, Hamisu, if you bring 200, let me just say 10% of 200 million people coming to Asofo, the community here will benefit. This place can be transformed. You can see it's still in its rough edges. Nothing new, no packaging. You know, I mean, there should be a walkway. People don't need to struggle to come in here, except, of course, those who want to do some challenges, as it were. But really, for the old and the young, to make it easier, in fact, there should be a recreational ground here, something, be the platform built here, so they can take pictures, you can shoot movies, and things like that.
This waterfall is all year round, but the flow varies with the season. The environment could not be more ideal for a waterfall as well.
What do you think? Can you tell me what you think of this place?
The potential is great.
Do you regret coming here?
I never did.
Please help me tell Nigerians that there's a place they need to visit. And places like this abound on the Jos Plateau. This is just a sample.
No, but the idea is good, but it is like it's still in its infancy. We need to see a smooth pathways. We need to see more people coming. We need to see probably boats going. We need to see a better packaging of this place.
In the tourism business, there's what we call responsible tourism. And the more natural the tourism attraction is, this is what we call ecotourism. And we reduce the modernism in places like this. We could easily put cable cars to come here, but cable cars are not designed for places like this. The fun here is your ability to descend and your ability to ascend.
Aswafall is a pleasant diversion from the main event of the Night Fest in Jos. There were some memorable nights and days of cultural expositions that cannot go out of memory. In one evening of cultural glory, the Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture, Otumba Segun Ronshawi, as is usual with him, mobilized his cultural troops from all over the country to the palace of Bomgom Jos. Palaces in Nigeria may not be too new to cultural displays. On this day, it was like the palace of Jos was under cultural attack. The Otumba was well received at the palace amidst unique royal receptions. After exchange of pleasantries, Otumba invited the Bomgom Jos to an open space just outside his palace, where he seated him and then treated him to the reality of cultural diversity of Nigeria. I cannot think of any country that has as much capacity for breathtaking dance steps like Nigerian cultural entities do have. At the palace of Bomgom Jos, there were times I feared some legs may go out of their sockets or some arms may do so, just due to the power of their dancing skills. They were relentless and frenetic and just beautiful to watch. The opening picture of this script were actually from the show in the palace. They are far from being exhaustive though. The excellence of the visibility of Nigerian dances is not only in the dance steps, splendid as they always are, but also in the costumes and the facial expressions. All they create unique and pleasant harmony in the execution of the dances. The palace was also captured by the swing dance steps of troops from Koji. Generally, Nigerian choreography stands out unique globally in beauty and in style. It usually reflects the cultural heritage of the ethnic communities. In all Nigerian societies, communities evolve unique dances to match their songs and plead their messages. There are dances and songs for occasions always. Nigerian dances have origin in their cultural societies. Apart from Kogi, dancers from Delta, Plateau and Taraba all follow that natural trend. It was done that well into the evening, but the troops had to eventually say their goodbye from the palace, but they left an indelible mark, memorable and beautiful.
Ancient plateau. See the diverse cultures that the plateau boasts of. See the beautiful masks of the ancient fathers. See.
No exaggeration to say that when Nigeria stands out to showcase its culture, the world pays respect. In Nigerian context, culture is not about a name merely. It is about beauty of its diversity, the rhythm of its expressions, the silent messages it conveys, and even the people who interpret it. To the credit of NAFEST, it always strives at giving the world an insight into the micro horizon of Nigerian arts and culture. There was this night in Nafes in Jos, when the festival brought to bear a historical reflection of colors and costumes that looks back at several Nigerian ancient costumes and cultural societies.
The maidens, the princes, the palm wine tappers, and the local princesses are what you'll be seeing 5000 BC within the Gosh area of the Kwanarafa Empire.
The mind here is to recreate the dress establishment of the long-gone Kwanarafa Empire, which at its peak encompassed such widespread areas as present-day Taraba, parts of Nasarawa, Plateau and Benue State. The people who translated this legacy may look modern, but they do not impede the message of their dress.
Wash, dwell in humanity to the people of the Kwanarafa Empire, lived a very prosperous life.
The dress reflects the evolutionary reality of many African societies, when hunting and food gathering sustained many African societies, and when the products of these endeavors fed the dress code of the people. The exhibition displayed the hidden majesty of the African past. The reality now is that many a community will see themselves in this display. It was a parade of familiar costumes, now not too much around. If only as a people we can take a deep look into these costumes and remember how they shape the lives of our forebears and define what they have been as a people culturally and occupationally. They were dressed for every occasion and for every person, king or commoner, farmer or merchant, male or female. This exquisite costumes display was actually from a night of command performance on the opening night of NAFES in Jos. It wasn't the only event of the night. There was an engaging dance drama as well. There was yet another night whose events were pleasing to share. It was the night of choral music. In any talk of music, choral music is always different. It is not an all-comers affair. It requires discipline and voice management, and every voice in the chorus counts. In NAFES, it goes a notch further. All 17 states that took part in the choral music appeared in local fabric, and Lord, the night was a picture of sartorial elegance and good music. There was no compromising the COVID-19 protocol also, and performances were all in local languages. How beautiful to hear the sound of Nigeria. The choral music was bound by themes, issues that are in the public domain and often sensitive, where education is needed. In that wise, COVID-19 was the ammunition for several troops, including Benue and Kogi. Choral troops also extolled the potentials of their home states and pleaded musically on behalf of their states for the world to come and see those potentials they have. Agriculture, tourism potentials, mineral resources, they all take center stage on that night of beauty. An abiding virtue of Nigerian culture is ability to fuse all different ethnic, geographical, and religious groups together and unite them. I saw states with different ethnic and religious backgrounds stood in unison and brotherhood to sing in unison for their country and for their states and for their people. Choral music may be interpreted differently. In many parts of Nigeria, a tradition of song above in vernacular, whose main background is the choral that support the lead singer, it is a choral music. They are also the kind we see in the churches, in Christmas carols, and in the school that entail disciplined orientation. They are all one. Here is a picture of what choral music can be, especially in Hausaland. It is, of course, extract from the choral night at the Jos Festival. The choral night has more themes for national unity and understanding than I have space to write. Ultimately, however, it was just too good to hear.